Alrighty, so in today's video we're going to cover how to start an online business with no money. And I basically did this. Exactly what I'm going to show you guys in this video. These were the exact steps that I took to get me to my first $15,000 per month with my online business. And I did it with absolutely no money. Okay, so there are basically 4 steps that I'm going to cover. Step 1, solve a problem. Step 2, where does your ideal client or avatar hang out? Step 3, time and effort and energy into socials. And then step 4, get them results. So guys, you cannot have a business without solving a problem. I think that's where a lot of people make the mistake. They think, one morning they wake up, get into the shower, get out of the shower, and they've got this shiny idea that the thing is going to sell like crazy online. That is not the case. So big businesses and businesses that are doing really well actually stem from a big problem that is solved for a massive amount of people. So the bigger problem you're solving and the more amount of people you can touch by solving that problem, the more money you're going to make. And those are just the facts, okay? So you have to understand that the very first thing to getting an online business is you need to solve a problem. Now, think about it. What have you been doing your whole life? Maybe you've got some really good expertise in exercise or fitness or health or supplementation, diets, things like that. Or I've listed a few things here, we'll talk about them now. Or maybe, I don't know, you've ran some really good book clubs, or maybe you're a chiro, or maybe you're a personal trainer. Whatever it is, you've got expertise in a very specific area, and that expertise that you've got or that knowledge that you have can solve a problem for other people. Now, one of the questions that I get quite often is, okay, but Januss, I've only been doing this for a year, or I've only been doing this for 6 months. Like, how will people trust me? How can I actually solve a problem for them? It doesn't matter. Anyone can sell their knowledge and information and expertise online if you look at the 1 to 10 scale. And kudos to one of my mentors, William. He actually came up with this. So I need to give him a bit of credit there. But essentially what the 1 to 10 scale is saying, guys, is that depending on where you are on that scale, that is who you need to decide to teach. So let me give you a very practical example here, right? If you are a tennis coach and you're an ex-professional player, you've played Wimbledon, Australian Open, whatever. Like, for you to teach beginners like 13, 14, 15-year-olds is probably not where you want to be, right? You should be focused on coaching like elite athletes, elite tennis players, to take them to that next level. So on the scale of 1 to 10, you are a 10 because you've done it. You've been a professional tennis player, you've got the skills, the expertise, the mindset training, everything that comes with that, you've got that. So on the scale, you're a 10. And for you to teach a 1 out of 10, which is someone that just starts out with playing tennis, is probably not a good idea because you're going to be way too advanced for them, right? So on the scale of 1 to 10, let's say you are a 3, okay, you understand what you can solve for these people. But where the hell do you can find your first few customers? Maybe you still have a 9-to-5 job, you don't have time to go around knocking on people's doors the whole day. You've got a 9-to-5 job, the only time that you have is before work and after work. So we got to find a very efficient way on where to go and get these ideal customers of yours, okay? So ask yourself the question, where does your ideal client hang out, and then get in touch, okay? I'll give you guys an example of what I did in the aviation industry. But essentially, things that you can look at are Facebook groups, right? There will be Facebook groups around paddle, around accounting, around personal training, around health, around exercise, around gym, whatever the case might be. Any keywords related to your niche or industry, go and find Facebook groups for that. Go into the groups, go and see what the people are saying, go and look at what they're commenting on and what the problems are that they're facing. Okay, and then you need to get in touch with these people. I'll get back to how to get in touch now. But so Facebook groups is one thing that you can have a look at. Instagram, if you are a paddle coach, for instance, go and find accounts on Instagram that are constantly posting paddle stuff. Maybe paddle courts or paddle tournaments or whatever. Any paddle accounts, go and follow them. Go on their pages, go look at their posts, at their stories, at their reels, and go and see what people are saying on there. Like, you might find a paddle court, they're putting posts out there, saying, hey, this court is now open. And then You know, people are commenting on their, oh, I want to play paddle, but I need some lessons. Boom, there's your opportunity. Click on that person's name, send them a DM, very friendly, like don't be pushy, don't be salesy. People don't like that. Reach out nicely, say, hey, this is who I am, this is what I do. I saw on one of the comments that you're actually looking for paddle lessons and that you're into paddle. That's great. I'm actually a paddle coach myself, and I would love to explore an opportunity to help you get into paddle. And that's all you do. And then they can say yes or no, or they don't reply, whatever. You just keep on rinsing and repeating that whole thing, okay? So go on Instagram, go and find accounts there. Then also, if you're part of Discord or Telegram channels or groups, then, you know, same story. You can go and find people on there, see what they're saying, who's commenting, what are they saying on the comments, what are the problems that they're facing, and then go and try and pick those people out that you can see fits the avatar well, or, you know, they have the problem that you can actually solve, and then just reach out to them, like get in touch with them. So there are two ways of doing that, depending on obviously which platform you're using to get in touch with these people. You can either send them a DM, like I've said, don't be salesy, don't be pushy, otherwise your accounts will get blocked. Just be nice, open, friendly, and transparent, okay? Or, I mean, if you're on channels where you can find people's email addresses, then you can send them an email as well. Once again, friendly, not pushy, not salesy. Just tell them straight up what it is that you want to do. Okay, so that is number two. Number one, get your problem, know how to fix the problem. Think about the scale. Number two, go and think of where does your ideal client or avatar hang out. Go and do some research. And guys, you got to understand that this is not overnight success. Okay, you got to do volume for this stuff. You can't send 2 people a message and then think, oh, I'm going to get 2 clients. It doesn't work like that. Like, this is all a volume game. You got to be willing to send 20, 30, 50, 100 messages a day, getting in touch with people, seeing who's responding, and so on and so forth. I don't want to give you guys the metrics of what I've seen. You know, if you send 100 messages, 30 people typically reply and then continue to engage, and 10 of those will actually get on a call with you, and then 3 of those people are actually clients. So you send 100 messages to get 3 clients. That's typically what I've seen. I didn't want to go too much in detail there. I think it's more important that we keep the overview. But what I'm saying is that it's a volume game, and keep that in mind. Like, don't just, you know, put a little bit of effort into it and think it's just going to blow up. It's not going to work like that. So go and check in with your ideal avatar. Go and find people, because these are the people that's going to give you money, right? Remember, you don't have money to start paid advertising and stuff for this business. So reach out. So what I did here is I actually really, for our specific offer in the aviation industry that we had, Facebook groups worked really well. I joined all these aviation groups, and then I saw that students were posting in there that they're struggling with the theory exams, or they would ask very specific theoretical questions. And I'll get to this just now, but what you also want to do is you don't just want to come across like, hey, listen, I can help you, get in touch, send me a DM, whatever. Like, educate and help people without expecting anything back. I think we're in a world and an age right now where it's just like, you know, people always just want to ask for money before they even do anything. I don't even really know if you can help me, but now you suddenly want me to pay you. Like, that's just ridiculous. Like, you got to be willing to give before you can ask. Show people the value that you can bring before you actually ask them for money. And so that's what I did. I went into these groups, I answered students, I helped them, I even sent some of them DMs without like expecting a response or money or anything. I just helped them, and they were like, oh my word, I've struggled with this for 2 weeks, and now you come and you explain in one message to me exactly, you know, how to fix this problem, and then the problem was solved. And those are the type of things that you want to do. Okay, so Facebook groups work really well for me. Then number 3 is, so you've got the problem, you know where to find your ideal avatar. This is the people that's going to have the money. Number 3 is now putting the time and the effort and the energy into your socials. Okay, so there are 2 things. These actually go hand in hand here. Okay, the one thing is where you reach out to people. We call it organic outreach, where you DM people and you help them and educate them. Okay, but then there's also another aspect to it, which is also organic. It's not paid advertising, but this is where you put stuff out on your social media, where you actually tell people a little bit more about a specific problem that they might be struggling with. As an example, if you're a paddle coach and you know that you constantly get people they're struggling to get their backhand slice right, as an example, or the volley, like, make a nice little short video explaining to them what the grip must be, what the body position must be, where they must aim, like give value, like educate them and show them that you actually know what you're talking about. Okay, so go onto social media, make sure you've got an Instagram account, depending on where your avatars are hanging out. Instagram account, Facebook account, LinkedIn. Okay, those are the main three that comes to mind, and then obviously also YouTube, like I'm doing. But pick typically Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn are the easiest ones. There's a little bit more effort that goes into YouTube. But these are the ones that you can pick where you can put stories out on Instagram, you can put reels out on Instagram. And what you want to do there is you want to talk to the pain of these ideal customers of yours, right? And when I say talk to the pain, it's like, you know, as a paddle coach that people struggle with the back-end slice, or you know, as an accountant that people typically overpay taxes, they don't know how to fix it. So those are the type of things that you need to educate people on so that they see that you know what you are talking about. That's the important thing. We have a huge trust issue right now in the online space because everyone is a so-called guru, everyone is a so-called expert, but they actually don't know how to deliver. All they want is your money. It's one-sided agreements where you sign your life away, pay the money, and if they don't perform, well, sorry, I don't have any guarantees. And that's absolute BS. So show people that you actually know what you're talking about and that you can deliver before expecting anything from them. That is important. So put stories and reels out. You guys, if you follow me on Instagram, you'll see like I put a lot of stories and reels out where I just talk about business in general and explain to you guys how I've done certain things and whatever without expecting anything in return. Like this is just to educate you and to do my little bit for humanity. Okay. So stories, reels, talk to the pain, and then also post in the groups and help people. Okay. And educate. So if I say here post in groups and help people, that's what I did, right? Remember when I explained about the students that I was helping? Like if I saw someone posting a question about a specific topic or subject they struggled with, I would jump in and write them a proper, nicely paragraphed response that really explains. They could see I put in the time. This wasn't just a one-liner, two-liner type of thing that Januss and I just put together. No, it was actually a lot of effort that I put in, and people really appreciate that. And then they start like trusting you, and they start listening more to your content, and then they start engaging with you, and then that's how people actually, you know, get to a point where they're like, listen, can I pay you to work with you? Because it really looks like you're doing a great job. So post in groups, help other people, and then educate. Okay, so the educational part comes with stories and reels. Like I've explained, put stuff out there that will actually help people. If you know as an accountant how to get real estate agents to save on taxes, put short little clips out there on helping them. Like, don't think your stuff and your knowledge is all IP. There are other accountants that also know these things, okay? It's not just you that know it. So what you need to understand is that if you are willing to share some of the knowledge that you have and helping people, that will turn into more money or money down the line for you. That is a fact. So don't be scared to put stuff out there where you just, you know, open a can of worms, give people everything that they need, explain how to do certain things, add value, educate them, help them, and then basically just, you know, take it from there. When they engage, you just, you know, go on a journey with them. So I call this the you to me approach. Now, remember when you're starting out, especially if you're new in the online space, like people are not going to trust you. Like, who's this new guy? Who's this new girl here on the internet right now? Is this a scam? So like you want the you to me approach, which means that they are actually approaching you because of the value that you've added, because of the educational content that you've put out there. And that is a totally different ball game than trying to push someone into a sale, which is not something that you want to do. People don't like that anymore. Okay. That's like the old car salesman approach. I don't like that. So the you to me approach is important. So put in the time, effort, and the energy, like, and be consistent, guys. I didn't put that here, but I should probably write it here. Consistency is, and then I need to draw a little key. Let's see if I can still draw something like that. So consistency is key. Don't put one story out today, forget about it for 3 weeks, and then put something out again. Like, just be consistent, because remember, how you do one thing is how you do everything. People are going to keep an eye on, like, how often do you pitch up, what value do you add, how do you educate, and things like that. And the more you are in people's faces and the better the stuff is that you put out there, the more they're going to trust you and the easier they're going to buy from you. Okay, so that is time and effort with your social media. Okay. Then let's say now people have engaged with you, they send you messages like, hey, listen, I want to work with you, I see you can help me improve my paddle game. Then you can talk to them, jump on a Zoom call maybe for 30 minutes, 40 minutes, have a chat, explain to them how everything would work. And whether you're going to give them online training, whether it's in person, it doesn't matter. Okay. So you jump on a call, basically close them on the call, close meaning like get them to, you know, pay and commit and whatever. And then the most important thing that I see a lot of people miss, everyone is chasing this and they forget about point number 4. Guys, don't just like push people to give you money and then you push them aside to get more people to give you money. Like focus on the people that has given you money. Focus on the people that have given you money, okay? So what I'm trying to say here is get a few clients, get them really good results, because I can tell you right now that if you get them good results, you're going to get more clients. And you can use those results and you can post them on your social media, okay? How I helped XYZ improve his backhand. And then you put a few videos of that person struggling to get that backhand over the net. And then you put a post-training video after 2 or 3 or 5 sessions where that person is just constantly getting that backhand over the net. I know I'm using the paddle coach example. It's just the easiest thing for me to do right now. Or as an accountant, you can go like before taxes, tax saving strategies were implemented, and then post tax saving strategies implemented, and then show the difference in tax that the person paid, right? Something like that. So if you get them good results, you're going to get more clients. So focus on getting your client results, under promise and over deliver. I am such a big fan of that. Way too many people that are just standing like this, wanting more, wanting more, wanting more, and they don't want to give anything. I'm the opposite of that. I'm like, give me a little, I'll show you how I over deliver, and then you can decide, do you want to give me more? Okay, so results. Oh, and then I just decided to put this here, like, don't do a fucking course, okay? And the reason for this is I get a lot of entrepreneurs that are talking to me and they're like, okay, but I decided I'm going to build this course. And I'm like, okay, wait, hold on. Have you ever worked with someone online? And they're like, no. Then I ask them, so how do you know what course to put together? Like, how do you know what to say in the course? How do you know what they're struggling with? How do you know how to help them? Because a lot of people build these courses, and I think if I remember correctly, what was that number? I think it was 12%, yeah. The rate or the amount of people, if you take all the online courses basically, right, that's out there, the people only basically watch 12% on average of an online course, because there's so much shit in there that is unnecessary. It takes you so long to get to the point, right? And then there's this and then there's that, too much extras, right? And so that's why I'm saying don't do a course. Like, just get these people, work one-on-one with them, get them results immediately, over deliver, give them your phone number, give them access to your calendar if they need to book a call with you, whatever the case might be, but just keep on over delivering, be there for them, help them get results, so you can feed that back into your client acquisition system, back into your socials, and so on and so forth, in your trust building. Okay, don't quote me on that number, by the way. Now, that is the 4-step process. This is exactly what I did, guys. Exactly what I did. I found a problem. I was like, okay, people, student pilots are struggling with their theoretical aviation exams. I found a place to like go and find out where are these people, which was Facebook groups mostly. Started answering people there, helping them, blah, blah, blah. And then next moment, people are starting to reach out to me. Hey, can I get more of your time? You helped me so much here. I like, how does it work? And then I was like, well, this is my price. Like, you can pay me as an instructor and I can help you. And then I just started working one-on-one with them. And sooner than later, I had like 20, 30 people wanting my help. And then I decided, okay, maybe it's time for a course. Okay, so that's how I transitioned. And then also with this, I went big on this. I made a post every single day. I literally took a question that I know people are struggling with. I would post the question on Facebook and on Instagram. And then I would put the explanation to the answer on how to get the answer to that question. I would make like a big long write-up, or sometimes even videos with little animations and stuff on how to get to the answer. That's what I did on my socials. So I really put in the time and the effort, and the people could see like, okay, wow, this guy actually knows a little bit about what he's talking. He knows a little bit what he's talking about. So then they decided to get in touch, and the one thing led to the other. So yeah, so then there are a few things that I quickly want to discuss on this side of the board, which I think might be questions that are popping up. The very first thing is like, okay, how do I price? So if you're a paddle coach, you want to transition online, how do you price? Well, the best thing to do is just look at the competition, especially if you're starting out. Let's say you're a fresh paddle coach. You're not going to be able to go and charge what other coaches are charging, that are much more experienced than you. Like, go do some market research, find out what they're charging, and then come a little bit lower with your price, but over deliver. give people so much more. So like what I did, for instance, is I looked at what the flight schools were charging for these theoretical classes. I undercut them by a little bit, but I gave the people so much more. They had access to my phone number. I put them on a group where I constantly monitored the group for questions. So like they had on-demand support. I shared PDFs with them that I put together. I shared exam questions with them that they could practice. I gave them so much more, and they paid less than what they would be paying at the flight school. So to them, it was an actual no-brainer. And this is what I wanted to put here. Here. When starting, make your offer a no-brainer. And then my example. So what I'm trying to say is you want to get people to be like, listen, it's really a no-brainer to work with this person. Because what I get and what I pay, like if I'm going to go somewhere else, I'm not going to get from the other people that are more expensive what I get from this person. So I might as well just pay this person. It's a little bit cheaper, but I get so much more as well. So it's a win-win situation, right? So just look at the competition, decide, do research on what is the competition charging, and then you undercut them a little bit. And then slowly but surely, as you build clientele and as you get testimonials and results and whatever, you can start to increase your prices. Then the next one is deliverables. So when I talk about deliverables, what I mean there is deliverables or fulfillment is basically how do you work with the client that you've signed up to get them the results that you said that you're going to get them. Because remember, you've made them a promise, okay? You said, I'm going to help you improve your backhand. So now you've got to think like, what are you going to do to actually improve that client's backhand volley, okay? Or what are you going to do to get that client to save taxes? So you are obviously the expert, you would know what the things are, but essentially the deliverables can be a combination of Zoom sessions or in person, okay? Some things you can do in person, some things you can't. A lot of things you can do on Zoom, okay? So think about what it is that you are going to do to get that client the result, and then you can just do it on Zoom. Like give them, I don't know, 2 to 3 sessions, 2 to 3 1-hour sessions a week on Zoom, depending on what is required, and just keep on over delivering. Give them your number if that is required. Do whatever you have to do to make sure that you over deliver completely, okay? And then the next steps after this. So once you figured this thing out, by the way, before I get to next steps, this system here, guys, I just rinse and repeat it, right? So like when I got clients, I went back to looking at the problem that my current clients are facing. See, can I improve my services or my offering? Went back to getting more of these people, kept on posting in the Facebook groups, kept on helping people, kept on posting on my own social channels, like certain questions and tips and tricks for exams and whatever, signed up more clients, and then went back there, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, all the time. I just kept on repeating this. And I think it took me about 6 months. It was about 6 months. And in a very small niche, that got me to $15,000 a month, okay? Which is not bad. I started this business with $0, okay? I had a Zoom account and a phone and a laptop, okay? So the next steps after this, like once you've got your 10, 15, 20 clients and you're like, okay, I've made some money, I can put some more money back into the business, and that is super important. Keep doing that. Don't go and buy fancy watches or cars or, all these distractions that comes with earning money. Like keep the money in the bank account, put it back into your business to grow the business, build a war chest, and keep reinvesting, because that's the only way to really go forward fast. So what I was going to say here is, okay, the next step. So when you get to like 15 or 20K a month, as an example, then the next steps, if you want to put fuel on the fire here, then you can go into paid advertising, okay? Then you can start running ads on Meta, so Instagram and Facebook, or ads on LinkedIn, or ads on YouTube, wherever it is that your ideal client is hanging out. Then you can run paid advertising. And then we're talking a completely different ballgame. Like that is a complete video on its own, okay? So next steps after you figured this thing out would be paid advertising. Now, obviously, if you do have money, don't get me wrong, if you do have money and you don't want to go through this tedious process, then you can start with paid advertising. The only problem is, remember, you don't really always know like what are the pains and the questions and the issues that these clients are facing. And in paid advertising, you want to talk to those pains very, very deeply to attract those, ideal avatars out of a cold audience that you're marketing to. So you got to be careful with this as well. I would suggest do this, then go to paid advertising. And then also the next step after you've figured this out and you've done your one-to-one stuff and you've delivered would be a course. Then you can start putting a very basic minimum viable course together where, you know, you remember you're going to take notes as you work with these people. Like, what are the things that are popping up? What are the same questions, the same mistakes that they're making, the same issues that they're having? Keep track of those things, and then you can later on use that in a course and basically build out a very basic course. And then you can start to sell the course, because then you're not selling your time anymore. And then once the courses are running, then, you know, now we're starting to talk bigger numbers. 25K, 30K, 50K, 100K a month, okay? So those two things would be the next steps: paid advertising course. And I think that's about it. I think I covered this. It's a no-brainer. And yeah, I did tell you guys that this got me to 15K per month. So guys, this is really it. This is how you start an online business with no money. And this is exactly what I did. The living proof of this. This is why I could put this video, you know, together in so much detail. And I actually spent time sitting and thinking, like, how did I do it? Obviously, under each of these steps, you know, you can go a little bit deeper, like how to convert cold traffic, how to do these sales calls, whatever, but that's going to become like a 5-hour video, which I don't want to bore you with. But I'll maybe make some other videos on that. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. This is how to start an online business with no money.